The one-on-one show.
Welcome to ISpace 2 LLC, the ultimate creative sanctuary designed for the innovative mind. Elevate your podcast with our professional-grade equipment and acoustically treated rooms. Crystal clear sound quality every time. Bring your vision to life in our photo shoot studio with natural light, versatile backdrops, and pro lighting gear. Stunning images are guaranteed. Need space to collaborate? Our sleek modern offices are perfect for meetings, workshops, or conferences. Flexible rentals to fit your needs. Choose from our diverse studios: Studio A, Studio B, Studio C, and Studio D, each designed to inspire and adapt to your creative workflow. Conveniently located at 2198 Austell Road Southwest, Suite 216 in Marietta, Georgia. Ready to create? Book your space today at ispace2.com or call 866-936-5365. iSpace 2, LLC, where your ideas come to life. Create, collaborate, inspire.
In trucking, time is money, and the last thing you need is insurance that slows you down. At AmeriTrust Insurance Group, we move fast, no loss runs needed, same-day quotes and binding, and rates that keep your wheels turning. From auto liability to cargo, bobtail, physical damage, and workers' comp, we're your one-stop shop for commercial trucking insurance. Licensed in multiple states, powered by real agents who answer the phone. No bots, no hold music. We know the road can be tough, but your insurance shouldn't be. You're not just hauling freight. You're building a business. Let's protect it. AmeriTrust Insurance Group. We don't just insure, we deliver.
Pose, pas fait tête chaud. Ou t'as cherché un compagnie sérieux pour faire le taxe pour là, dans des postes tête et bien choix par l'autre côté. Lucita Accounting Firm. Nous avons plus que 22 ans d'expérience dans seule location. Porte nous l'ouvrir depuis le fait 9h pour arriver 7h. Consultation nous gratis. Nous avons pilote service nous bas encore. Nous faisons taxe individuelle. Taxe pour moun qui gen business. Nous faisons audit pour assurance taxe. Taxe consultation. Nos affaires taxe. Docteur Lucita se met causer. Relais pour service taxe pour la Kounia. Et pour nous éduquer dans le taxe. Pour joindre tout corps ou nommé ARS sans manquer yon yota. Téléphone non c'est 770 319 91 81. Adresse nous c'est Atlanta, Georgia.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of One-on-One with Dr. Lucida. You know, One-on-One is your show, the show that you always wait for from 5 to 6 p.m. We create the show because we want to leave a legacy to our younger generation. We're creating an archive of stories with people that's in the community that we believe have something to share. Because, you know, One-on-One is created because of my son. He always thinks money is grown from a tree. He doesn't believe that there was a step that we took to be the person that we are today. One-on-One is for you. It's for my guests, and it's for anyone who's about to watch the show. Now, take your time. Go share the live. Tell a friend your show is here. Let's have some fun together. Be right back. Welcome back to One on One, your show that you've been waiting for. And you know, there's one thing we don't do. We do not introduce our guests because there's always a story. Today, like I said before, we are here with one of our amazing guests. We're getting ready to talk to her. We're getting ready to pick her brain. We're getting ready to have a great time with her. Now, without further ado, welcome, guests. Welcome to One on One.
Hi everyone, my name is Terry, aka KK, Fitness, Wellness and Nutrition. Last name is Kariuki, and I am so honored to be hosted by the amazing Lucida. Like, this girl has so much energy. I don't know how I ended up here, but I'll get through this.
You are going to get through it. You are going to get through it.
I will hope too much.
Yes, just because it's one on one. It's supposed to create this for people to know Terry, right? Now that you just tell people who you are, was there a story behind your name? Who is Terry? We see you. You say you are fitness. Tell us, who is Terry?
Okay, so Terry, my name is
Okay.
Kariuki.
Let me see if I can pronounce it.
Karambu Kariuki.
Karambu Kariuki.
Yes.
Okay.
So being from Kenya, when you're born with an African name.
Okay.
Then your last name.
Okay.
So I'm born after my mother's big sister. And she was very proud. So she named me Karambu, which means pride.
Pride.
Look at that, so she named me Karambu, which means me pride in my language, or my
Okay.
mother tongue. And then, of course, Kariuki is my father's last name.
Awesome. So, Pride, Miss Pride. We're going to finish this interview not with Terry, not Karumbo. It's going to be Miss Pride for me. Miss Pride, what can you remember from your early age?
Oh, God. What age are you talking about?
As far as you can remember.
So I remember having a very beautiful childhood at some point. Like, beautiful, like it was my mother, my brother. I was a very naughty child.
Naughty child.
I
Miss
was-
Pride said naughty, guys.
I was that child that my mother used to be like, "Oh my God, what did you do today?" I'm still up to today very oblivious. I was a very oblivious child. It's just like, don't realize sometimes what I'm doing or what I did, and then I'll be in trouble for like no reason, and then I would find myself being yelled at or being the slippers or the belt, and I don't like pain, so I'd start crying, and she's like, "Why are you doing these things?" But it was beautiful at some point, and then she had to move. And then she couldn't move with the rest of us because of work. So she had to move to a very remote part of Kenya. And so she had to let us go. We had a nanny. For some reason, we had a nanny.
So what age are we thinking about? What age?
So the far I remember, I believe this was like 7.
Okay.
When we had to move to my grandmother.
Okay.
With our
And there was a
nanny.
reason why you had to move, or?
So yes, so my mother and my father worked together.
Okay.
And my father was like, he opened a new office in a very, very remote part of Kenya.
Okay.
And so she wouldn't bring the children with her.
Okay.
So the easiest thing for her to do was to leave the children with her mother, which was my grandmother.
So we call it the suburb.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we went to the suburb. We moved from the city to the village.
To the village.
To the village. So
And that's more fun in the village. Because me from Haiti, the village to us meaning that we're going to be barefooted, we're going to be running after the animals, we're going to be playing on the dirt. So it's not the same for Kenyans?
It was the same thing.
Okay.
It was the same thing. You're in the village, you have cousins, you have aunties. At first, it was my brother, my sister, and I, and then, of course, our housekeeper or our house manager. Now we have cousins, we have her siblings, and her we have uncles, we have aunties.
Everybody
Now we
was
are
living
living with
together.
them. We are living with all of them, and to me that was foreign because
Okay.
to me, like, my space is
being invaded.
And so it's like my space is being invaded, and then we had our housekeeper got married to my uncle.
Whoa, you going too fast, girl. You're gonna break one-on-one. This is something we leave for the late one.
You did.
So now you're 7 years old.
Yes.
They everybody's living together in one.
Yes.
How was life when everybody was in the same house?
So I've always been my mother's child. My mother and I were very, very attached. So this was very difficult. Like, I struggled until like my entire. I think that was like grade 1. The 8 years I lived with my grandmother was a struggle. I didn't know. Now is in my adult is when I understand what is separation anxiety. Because I would get headache and nobody knew why I was getting headaches. And then I would have to
And
go.
what age you talking about?
I'm talking of like my entire, like, so this is from 10 years to like even 12, 14, 15
Okay.
when I graduated. So in
Middle
Kenya, our high school, our primary school is from grade 1 to 8th grade.
Okay.
Okay, so then I am seeing my mother on weekends. And if she missed on weekend, any weekend she missed to come visit, I would get really sick. But I didn't know why. So then I would be very sick, and then on Monday I'd be sent to hospital. And then
Oh
I
my
would go see my
gosh.
mother, and I'm good.
Oh wow.
But then being in African village, we didn't know. It's separation anxiety.
Oh wow. Oh wow. So how long you've done that for? For a good 2 years?
That was my entire childhood. Yes, entire childhood.
Let's take it. Let's because we have to peel the onion, right? So now your parents are away working. So you in the village, suburb with your grandmother. That's when you with your uncle. But how did they treat you? Was life okay? I mean,
You have tissue because we might start crying.
I'm like, was
Did
life
you,
okay?
did you read that book? We shall need more wines. We shall need more tears and tissues. So it was. I was a very bright child, very, very bright. However, my grandmother was not the most. She was not the most loving. And for some reason, I was that child she never loved or liked.
Interesting. You know, I hear those stories. I've never met somebody that lived it.
Yes.
Because grandmother's supposed to love, especially a girl.
Yes.
Grandmother's supposed to love that child.
Yes.
So how did that?
I honestly don't know. I think she felt my mother was the provider for the family.
Okay.
But I was also my mother's child. So I was that child that my mother felt like if I saw my mother, it was me and my mom 24/7. When she comes visit, it's me and my mother. And so my grandfather, who was very ill, was bedridden because there's no nursing home. So I guess the fact that she was taking care of the husband
And now they had to take care of you.
and she had to take care of her, so she felt overwhelmed. But then she became alcoholic. So when we were left the money for food, or if my mom did a lot of work to make sure we were provided for, so she would go drink. Now the problem I did not understand with my grandmother is, I think we were talking about it the other day when I went home. It's like she would come home, and if anything was missing, her demons would direct her to me.
Oh, wow.
With all the children in that household.
How many?
Oh, it was my sister, my brother, myself.
So over 5 things?
Had last born child, my cousin. So we were 5 of us that lived under her. But with the 5 of us is all her demons. Now I laugh about it. Her demons directed her to me.
Wow.
And it was not easy because it was the emotional abuse, the physical abuse, and anything she could get. And that affected my school
Oh, wow.
really bad.
Wow. Wow.
Really.
So you went
really
from being bright to now don't want to go to school?
I went to school,
But I know, but like it wasn't.
but I just didn't do well.
When you said didn't do well,
I went from being first,
Yes.
second. You see, it's like you go from first, then you
yeah,
go
you
from,
competing.
then you go to second.
People wants to be.
I used to be
you.
first or second. Then here I am 5. And I don't think my parents even try to understand what's going on.
Yes.
Then the next thing is I'm like 8.
Wow.
Because the thing is, she was not providing. So you have to go to school. It's so funny that I talk about it now and I don't feel bad or feel guilty or cry about it. Because at first I felt ashamed. You know, we feel
So
ashamed.
what do you mean? But that's not your fault.
You don't know though. How did you know? Do you know? How do you know that how you grew up and how you brought up and all the traumas is not your fault?
I don't know. For me, all the trauma I went to my life, I've never blamed anybody. I've never once think and said, "Oh, it's that person's fault." I've always believed, like, okay, Lucida, you got to work through it. It's part of your journey. You got to work through it. That's just been me. I never give people a baggage to carry for me. I carry. It doesn't matter. Like I've been through so much in life, and people look at me and said, "Why are you always smiling? Why nothing bothers you?" For me, it's like, okay, if it didn't happen to me, it would happen to somebody else. So just keep going. It will get better.
I think it's the thought of when you interact with other people and let me tell you, the problem was for me is when you're dealing with all these issues is you have a the other side of your family, which is my father's side of family, was doing very well. Very, very well. And my dad provided for both of his families. But I had an alcoholic grandmother who took everything and went drinking. So we were left with no food. So, I remember one day she took my shoes and traded them for alcohol.
Grandma was no joke.
She was no joke. She
So
took
where's
my
Grandma
shoes.
today?
Actually, I truly love her today. I support her as much as I can.
So if you had something to say to Grandma, what would it be?
I actually forgave her 2 years ago.
Tell her, look at the camera and tell
Yes,
Grandma
I forgave
something.
her 2 years ago. I forgave her for all the miseries, and she knows. And for some reason, now I am her favorite grandchild.
The role is reversed.
The roles are reversed.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't blame her. I don't.
And sometimes you have to forgive those behaviors because they don't have a book, right? We always assumed our adult parents know what they're doing. They don't know. There wasn't somebody that says, Lucita, do this, do that. Terry, do this, do that. They had to do it based on their own mind ability to process whatever was going on. So they did what they thought they were doing to survive themselves. So that's why you have to forgive them in order for you to be in a better place. Like I was saying to my other guest last week, I got kicked out of my house at a young age. And I had to survive however way I knew how. I went back home when I was an adult, but for 5 years, I had to navigate life myself. But do you know today, those moments that I was on my own were the best years of my life? Because it taught me how to struggle. I understand a lesson of not having. I appreciate every human being because I'm like, the people that you thought or assumed that was gonna have your back, they're the people that not there. And then the universe always bring people in your corner to help you out at whatever situation you're going through. So at an early age, when my dad did that to me, something that could have break me and turned me into another woman, it made me appreciate and know that now, if I can't eat, I know it's temporary. If I can't pay a bill, I'm like, "Ugh, it's okay. Tomorrow I'll figure it out. It's all good," because I went through the hard times. You understand? So for that, when people say you create one-on-one, why? I'm like, because when you're looking at me, I'm always smiling. I'm this person, but I'm like, underneath all this, there was some work that had to be done. So listening to your story, where are you? While you were in Kenya, how did you survive grandma? How was, let's continue with you because you had to survive grandma to be Terry today. So let's continue.
Oh God, Rosita, so many times I attempted suicide.
You?
I did. I
Terry.
did.
What age?
I'm a very soft person, by
I
the way.
can tell.
I'm very delicate, but
Yes. So
I
let's-
remember one day she came to school, and literally, I've never even had a physical fight in my life. And I remember one day she came to school, and it was a meeting. And let me tell you, we are very known. My grandmother's family husband is known. He was like a clan elder. So we are known. We're not a small family. So, and my mother was known and my father is known. And she comes to school, parent teachers meeting. And I think I was in grade 8. And that's when I made a decision. And she stood up confidently and said, "You see her? This is a Karambu. Karambu beat me up. And I was made to stand. I was in grade 8. Here I am standing like we have students, other parents and teachers. And she's accusing me of abusing her or beating her physically.
Who? Your
My
grandmother?
grandmother.
Jesus.
And I just...
And at that time, you're 14, what?
Basically 13
13,
years old.
14. And she went to the school.
And it
said
was
you
a
beat
meeting,
him.
yes.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I remember getting home and I didn't know what to do. So in my young age, I would run away. I love water. And I would go sit in some water and just cry. And I remember telling my mother, once I graduate, one thing is, I'm sure I'm not going to be pregnant because your fear is me being pregnant.
Yes.
I told her,
Especially a young
I told her
woman.
one sure is, I may not do very well in school because at this point I'm very damaged, but I do not care whether you want me as your child, but I am not going to live with this woman.
Wow. So at 13.
And at 13. And I promise you, I think as soon as I graduated primary school, I was done.
Wow.
I remember I went to high school and I told my mother, where you sleep is where I
I'm
sleep.
sleep. Wow.
What you eat
That's
is
what
what
you're
I will
eating.
eat. I don't care. It don't matter. And then my dad wanted me to go live with him, and my mother was like, hell to the no. And he was a very well-off man, but my mother was like, my child is not being raised by a stepmother. So I'm like, what is worse, stepmother, grandmother? So which is worse? And so I think that way I'm such a go-getter. And I remember even my dad said, it's like, one thing is I never worry about you because no matter what happens, you will find your way. Because regardless of everything, even my siblings will be like, we know you'll find your way no matter what happens.
You
you'll
see
find
what
your
you
way.
just said here, right? You just said you're delicate. You're delicate. However, that experience made sure it stayed with you. That's what I was just saying to you. Certain things that happen to your life mold you to say, hell no. I will not let life, take me down. So that's why you see you have that drive to make sure that you wasn't going to get pregnant. That was one thing we had in common. Because when my dad kicked me out, he thought that I was going to be in the street and here goes my life, get pregnant and be whatever, right? But I was like, nope, that's not going to happen. I'll lock myself somewhere. I was like, nope. I will make sure I'll get pregnant when it's time to get pregnant, right? Because these things do something to you psychologically. Because when you feel like you are no good or you damage good or people don't like you, it's like internally you are fighting to show. I don't know, that's how I feel. I'm fighting to say, see me. The one you didn't want, I'm going to show you. Did you ever feel that way?
Oh yes, when my dad came in America in 2013 and 14, and we had to have that conversation. Oh my God, it was the most difficult conversation, because one thing I'll tell you about me is I'm an introvert and I don't communicate. I bottle things up, but then when I burst, run.
Oh, wow.
I love peace and I love calm. And I let things go and I let things go and I let things go. However, when I'm very emotional. Everything in my life is very emotionally connected.
Wow.
I'm very emotionally invested in everything. So if I'm your friend, I am your friend, not just superficially, but emotionally.
Yeah, you connected.
So
you're very fragile.
I'm very
So
fragile, but I'm also very tough. I'm very tough.
Yeah, because you're tough to yourself.
No, I'm very tough with people.
With people as well.
I have come to learn to
Okay.
be tough, because
Okay.
I used to be like, I think being that child that was never seen, because with my grandmother, my sister would never do. Even today, my sister does not even know what to do with herself, because she was like the fragile child. She was like the one who could not do anything. You have to do everything for her. However, me knowing what I had to fight, I had to cook, I had to make sure. And the thing is, I also know I love cleanliness. So they knew, like, we don't have to clean, she's going to clean. But the one thing is, if they send me to the farm, no, don't send me to the farm. I don't do hard labor. So they'll be like, oh, we are going to pick coffee. Not me. But then they knew, if they leave me, they will find food, they'll find everything is clean and organized. But you can't send me to, it's so funny when I tell people I'm a personal trainer, they don't understand, like, how you could never lift anything. However, going through everything, and not sure if you want me to peel the onion some more, but
yes,
but losing my mother.
Oh wait,
when
so you went to live with your mom?
So went to live with my mother, and then I went to high school, and then high school was the best season of my life. It was my mother.
What made it best? Tell us stories.
It was
boyfriends.
God, no, not with my mother.
Only
Oh my
your mother.
goodness. No, she almost killed somebody's son. No, but because to me is, I don't even think people understand the love I had for the woman and the love she had for me. I remember, like, when I went to 9th grade, which is Form 1 in Kenya, and I told her I'm never going back to the village. And she was like, it's fine. It's okay. And I was in boarding high school. So when schools closed, I would come home and she'd go to the office. And by 10 a.m., I'm there with lunch. And we would be there all day. And if she takes a nap, I take a nap next to her.
Wow.
And people were like...
So there was a bond.
It was a bond. Like, the bond that I mean, when I tell you the bond was since I was born, because remember, I used to have separation anxiety. And even when I went to high school, for some reason, I would nosebleed so I can go home. Or I had toe surgery, so I used to go home very often, just so I could see my mother. And so I remember, so the 4 years of high school, it was fun, we had fun, we were together. When I'm home, we were together. Whatever we are doing, we were together. And she'll be like, this is my handbag, so there's nothing you can do. She's not going to go anywhere. I remember sometimes she'll be like, do you want to breastfeed at this age? Do you want me to feed you? And so when I graduated high school, in the midst of trying to figure out what to do with my life, she started getting sick. And I had to take that year off so I can figure out what's going on. And
you say you're the only child?
No, we are three. She had my big sister, myself, and my brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
So she started getting sick while you were in high
getting
school?
sick after high school.
After high school.
I don't know what God was thinking.
Oh, yeah.
Because he waited until I completed high school.
Yes, so at least you were mature enough, right? Mm-hmm. And I always said that too. look at it, you were having anxiety, separation anxiety, and then you had your mom for 4 years, and then now he was gonna take her away from you. So that means, I always said, he doesn't make mistake. The fact that you went through that before, so when you lose your mom, although it was gonna be hard, but now you're stronger.
I feel like
To
he made
deal
a
with it.
mistake though.
Don't we all? Because I lost my mom 5 years ago.
I
So
feel
for
like-
me, I'm like,
I feel like he made a mistake
okay,
on that one.
on that one.
Yeah.
Mine too. I'm like, send her back.
Because I was very fragile and I was very young. And so I think he should have given me the opportunity to just like grow, be like,
Yes, a little bit
like just a little bit longer because I was just like 19.
more. Oh, wow.
You know, I think I should just been given the opportunity of, because I still was afraid of having a boyfriend. And the day she found me with a boyfriend, she almost killed him.
What age was that? Because you
I just
bypassing that.
graduated. Oh, but do you want to hear this
Yes, I want to
story?
hear the story because we all.
So after high school, I think I became a little bit rebellious.
Well, you know what? We're gonna take a break. Let's give the people a little suspense. We're gonna take a break when we're gonna find about the story in a minute.
Welcome to ISpace 2 LLC, the ultimate creative sanctuary designed for the innovative mind. Elevate your podcast with our professional-grade equipment and acoustically treated rooms. Crystal clear sound quality every time. Bring your vision to life in our photo shoot studio with natural light, versatile backdrops, and pro lighting gear. Stunning images are guaranteed. Need space to collaborate? Our sleek modern offices are perfect for meetings, workshops, or conferences. Flexible rentals to fit your needs. Choose from our diverse studios: Studio A, Studio B, Studio C, and Studio D, each designed to inspire and adapt to your creative workflow. Conveniently located at 2198 Austell Road Southwest, Suite 216 in Marietta, Georgia. Ready to create? Book your space today at ispace2.com or call 866-936-5365. iSpace 2, LLC, where your ideas come to life. Create, collaborate, inspire.
In trucking, time is money, and the last thing you need is insurance that slows you down. At AmeriTrust Insurance Group, we move fast, no loss runs needed, same-day quotes and binding, and rates that keep your wheels turning. From auto liability to cargo, bobtail, physical damage, and workers' comp, we're your one-stop shop for commercial trucking insurance. Licensed in multiple states, powered by real agents who answer the phone. No bots, no hold music. We know the road can be tough, but your insurance shouldn't be. You're not just hauling freight. You're building a business. Let's protect it. AmeriTrust Insurance Group. We don't just insure.
Pose, pas fait tête chaud. Ou t'as cherché un compagnie sérieux pour faire le taxe pour là, dans des postes tête ou hier, et bien choix par l'autre côté. Lucita Accounting Firm. Nous avons plus que 22 ans d'expérience dans seule location. Porte nous l'ouvrir depuis le fait 9h pour arriver 7h. Consultation nous gratis. Nous avons pilote service nous bas encore. Nous faisons taxe individuelle. Taxe pour moun qui gen business. Nous faisons audit pour assurance taxe. Taxe consultation. Nos affaires taxe. Docteur Lucita se mettre causé. Relais pour service taxe pour la Kounia. Et pour nous éduquer dans le taxe. Pour joindre tout corps ou dans mes ARS sans manquer yon yota. Téléphone non c'est 770 319 91 81. Adresse nous c'est Atlanta, Georgia.
in to the one-on-one show with Dr. Lucita.
I'm sure you guys are enjoying this one-on-one with Terry, Pride Lady, Pride Mama. This is what we're going to call her for throughout the whole show. And this one is interesting because for me, growing up, I've always told that grandmothers are lovable. They always giving you gifts. They always giving you, toys. And here I am sitting here with Terry, and she was sharing her humble beginning with us, how life was with her and her grandmother when her mom and her dad had to go back to find to make money, like most of our families, right? They leave us with some family members so they can look for money, life, jobs, and all that stuff. So here's Terry with grandma, and life was not what she expected it to be. And that's when she had to endure a lot of, different things that she didn't think that would ever happen to her. And during the break, she was sharing some stories, and we don't need to go through all of the drama. I want to meet Terry now at an earlier version, who she is, where she is, how she appreciates life today.
Oh wow, yeah. Like I'm full of gratitude every day. Gratitude is my second name because wow, I was going through the death of my mother in the morning. I ended up in college. I still went to school, and my dad stepped up, and even though we didn't have a relationship, he became the other parent that I didn't have. He realized that I needed a parent, and also while I was mourning, I was also reconciling, because when my mother died, they didn't tell me. They did not know how to tell me. They were. I remember. When my mom was sick, my dad was like, somebody has to keep the office running. So I had to go open the office and keep the office running. And I remember the one thing I don't regret things. I'm the person who never regret things. However, the one thing I regret in my life is coming home and seeing my mother so ill and her not even recognizing me. Oh. And that broke my heart. And I ran out of the house, and that was the last interaction I had with my mother. And I remember going to the salon and telling the hairdresser, can you just fix my hair? I don't know what you're going to do, just fix my hair. And they took her to hospital, and I remember the following day, everybody was looking sad, and I was like, nobody's going to the hospital to see mom. What's going on? When are we going to see mom? And nobody's looking at me like, we don't know what to do with this girl. We have no idea what to say to her. 24 hours later, they did not know how to. I had to be taken to a place and be locked into some space and be told, you lost your mother. And I remember now, this is what they say as a child, is be very careful how you handle a child. Because I remember of having some amazing 4 years in my life and now thinking, oh my God, I have to go back live with my grandmother. And I remember saying, no way that is ever going to happen. I don't care if I have to be a prostitute. I don't care if I have to, whatever I have to do, but I'm not going to live with that woman. And I remember saying, I'm never going to live with that woman again. But, I usually say, that I think the death of my mother is probably the reason I ended up in America, because I think my dad also did not know what to do with me, because I was so grief-stricken, but I did very well in school. I went to college, I did hotel and tourism, and I did very well. And at this time, I became super ambitious, and I was trying to be a flight attendant, and I was supposed to be a flight attendant with United Arab Emirates.
Wow.
And and my dad was like, no, you're going to America. And so I was like, Dubai, America.
Wow.
And being a child of an African descendant, you don't make decisions. They make decisions for you. But I think at that end, I think you realize, okay, she's quite determined to do whatever. Because it's like, I'm not going back to the village. And
That was not an option.
That was not an option. And my dream was to be a flight attendant. I was going to be a air hostess at some point. And I worked on that dream. And, then my dad was like, okay, well, how about you just go to America? And that's,
Wow.
yeah, that's how life
So
started.
you got to America, what age were you?
21? No, 22.
22.
After college, it was right after college. So literally my life started in America. Because it was
Wow.
high school, losing my mother,
Yes.
college, then America.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how was life in college before?
Oh, it was wild.
What does that look like? Because remember, we're leaving a legacy to our younger generation and our younger self. So before we go to college, if you had some advice to give to yourself, the younger you, what advice would you give to your younger
I don't think I would change anything about my life. And the advice is to the younger me is, I don't know what advice I'd give to the younger me because I don't know what different I would have made. So the thing is, all my hardships shaped who I am, because is the one thing is, no matter what comes my way, is sometimes one way or the other is I'm gonna fight it. However, I hate to see people go through hardships. I don't like it. But now college, after high school,
Yes.
I started learning, through everything. I was never independent. My mom did everything for me.
Wow.
So learning to be college was when I had to be even buy my own clothes or be
Wow.
independent and all that. And then of course, you're learning about, dating. And I was at a girls.
Yes.
I lived at a girls' hostel, and we were wild.
What wild look
So,
like?
because the hostel closes at 10 p.m., so you'd stay outside past 10, so you don't have to come back.
Yeah.
Because if you come back, it's closed, so you don't
Because
come
that's
back.
similar to the way my dad raised us. My dad had 7 kids. So in the house.
So was my dad.
Yeah, 7 kids. It was 3 ladies, 4 boys, right? And the boys had they were more lenient to the boys than us. So the house would be closed at 10 p.m. for the girls, and the boys probably had midnight. So what we used to do, we used to grab the boys so we can stay late. Now, if the boys messed up, then all of us is outside.
God, we were not allowed to be. When we were growing up, we were not allowed to be outside after 6 p.m. I don't care whether my mother was around or not. So you have to remember that if you are caught even speaking to, by the way, did I tell you I was a snitch? I used to snitch on my sister. I'm like, hey, mommy, so-and-so was working with so-and-so.
Oh, Lord.
Until when I started dating, she's like, you become quite all of a sudden. What happened?
We don't want nobody to snitch on you.
But you couldn't even... The problem with being an African child is... The way they say it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village.
That's true.
You can't talk to anybody's child, somebody's son, because by the time you get home, they know. And
Everybody
that's a
know.
problem. And then the problem with Africa is, or let me just put it, Kenya is, as a girl child is very protected. You are told is if you get pregnant, your life is finished, and that is very true. I saw a lot of young girls that got pregnant and then they had no future.
Wow.
So when you
do they just kick you out of the house, or
no? Now they're allowing you to go back to school. During my season, you're not allowed to go back to school. So now here you are, you get pregnant, and then the child's father says, I'm not the father.
Oh my
so
gosh.
you have nothing else to do. What do? You have no education. You have, you're
you're
raising a child. You're on the street. So you used to be told if you get pregnant, just know, and then you'll be given with an example of so and so's child. See so and so. See she got pregnant. See she's stuck over there. So you get pregnant. You get pregnant. You're gonna be like
the threat technique.
The threat. Yeah. So I remember when I graduated, I told my mother, "Guess what? I am not pregnant."
and I went to school. I did the whole.
I went to school, and I've never been suspended. I was suspended. I've never been suspended.
Yes.
So you have a really good child.
Yes.
And so So she was like, "You're very correct. You're not pregnant.
Yes.
You never got suspended." And now that's when I was like, "Oh, now that's when I discovered boys." And now she's like, "The girl that used to come see me in the office is not being seen in the office. She doesn't understand what's going on because now I'm discovering the little boy, the man over here."
You experiencing.
I'm experiencing.
So now life is different.
Now life is different.
Now you're
you
an
know.
adult.
I'm an adult.
You're doing things for yourself.
Yes.
And you finished college.
I did.
And so when that happened, college end, and then you have to work, and that's when your dad tells you you have to come to America.
Yes, and guess what? You want to know my life is a movie. I landed in America 2 days before 9/11. Before jet lag was finished, I was dealing with Al Qaeda.
No
I
way.
kid you not, September 9. You know, when I went for my immigration, he was like, "When did you get here?" I was like, "I don't remember, but I knew it was 2 days before 9/11. He was like, "You cannot never forget that." He couldn't even.
Because your life just changed.
Yeah.
So did you land it in
Atlanta.
In Atlanta. So you came straight to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So that's where you had family. That's where you had.
So we had this program that was called Internship for America, and my cousin was here. My 2 cousins were here, and
Okay.
they were with the program. So
It's called internship.
Internship for America.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you came in on an internship.
Yes.
So what were you doing at that time?
Lord Jesus. So we interned for the Marriott.
Okay.
But it was a Marriott call center, the worst job ever. You can't even pay me to work at a call center anymore
Okay.
because I cried. Because that job was very, very stressful. It was, you have an accent. Now I still have an accent. I had a very fresh accent. And used to be told, "Can I get somebody who can speak English? You have an accent. I don't understand you."
And you're like, what? You never had to deal with this before.
I know.
This was something new for you.
Yes.
So what did you do?
Oh, no. I told you I'm very patient, but the patience runs out. So I just remember one day telling somebody, "You have an accent too." And by the way, QA was listening. Quality assurance. I was like, "You have an accent?" "I do have an accent. If you're patient with me, and I'm patient with you,
We'll get it done.
I can help you." And also understand, I went to school for 12 years to learn and speak out to learn how to speak and write English. So you cannot abuse my English. You were born speaking English. So in my world, I speak and write better English than you. She was like, "Okay, I am sorry."
And then you got fired.
I got fired, actually. I got fired. I got fired.
So now you have to provide for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us the rest of your life.
Well, hey, Esther, how are you? We were fired with Esther. So my dear friend Esther and I were fired together, and we had to move out of our apartment in 24 hours because that
24
was the internship agreement. 24
Oh
hours.
my God. So that's where you stayed.
Because they provided. We got a stipend, so we didn't pay rent, we didn't pay bills, but when you got fired, so you had to go. So we had to find a roommate.
You needed to keep your mouth shut, girl.
God, I don't know how to.
That was your sweet life.
It was terrible. It wasn't sweet.
Just because somebody said you don't have an accent, you.
Do you know, I used to go to work and get migraines and start crying, and then I'll be sent home. And so, but I think, that was probably the best thing that ever happened, because after that is we got jobs. And I remember, I don't even think we could even talk about this and finish. But, Esther and I got fired, and we grew together. We moved out, we found jobs. We started doing very well. We got our own 1-bedroom apartment. Esther was my ace, was my rider. I mean, we would be in our apartment with chicken in the oven, and then we'd be dancing to MTV.
Wow.
And we were party people. I mean, we partied.
So life started for you then.
Yes. I mean, we worked and got, because with the internship, we were not getting our money. We were just getting our stipend. So I mean, we became more independent. We had everything. We were living. I mean, we were partying, we were working, we were partying, we were working, and my dad was like, "Why are you calling me at 1 a.m. in the like? I don't even know, but you want me to call you?" So.
So now you're living life, you're enjoying life, and what do you think, looking back at all this that you had to go through, what goes through your mind today?
I say nothing that comes my way that I cannot face. I may have I'm the queen of denial, but once I get past the denial, I know I'm a risk taker. I remember one of my cousin telling me, you started living by yourself when the rest of us still had roommates. I mean, for the longest I used to live in Sandy Springs, and like my life is a blessing. Oh my God, I've met through everything I've gone through is a blessing. I've met some great people, like,
Wow.
Oh my goodness. I can't
Wow.
even tell you the people that I've met in my life. Every step of my life is from being fired from internship to getting laid off at my next job and coming across becoming a bartender at the Windham then, and a manager who carried me through to like a Holiday Inn, which now then became a DoubleTree. And then I met my next boss from there, which was now a sales job, which was working for Pepsico warehouse, selling Gatorade and everything else. And between now there, then I became also an auditor for CVS, and then
Wow.
that's when, while I was doing all that, my fitness passion was still Oh, did I tell you I was trying to be an actress also? That's how my fitness that's how my fitness was born, is because
Okay.
trying to be an actress.
So, because you had to lose weight, you had to be sexy.
No,
Okay.
I started taking classes, and then my instructor was, you need to bring your energy up. She's like, you're beautiful, you have a beautiful body, you'll get a job, but your energy is so low. I was like, what do you want me to do? She's like, you need to start working out. I was like, that? And so I hired a trainer, and that's how my fitness was born.
Oh, wow. So now tell us about being a coach, right? That's what you call yourself, as a fitness
Yes,
coach.
yes.
Tell us about this life.
Oh,
What does it look like? What do
it's so fulfilling. It is so fulfilling. It's very demanding, but it's also very fulfilling, because one thing is, when you watch someone who comes in and you create a connection, because I call it a relationship. You're seeing somebody 2 to 3 days a week, so you have a relationship. And then you see somebody, is like you're peeling an onion, they don't know you. Then, the next thing is they start trusting you, because it's all about trust. They're trusting you. And then the next thing is they're listening to you. And then the next thing, they become your friend. They start inviting you to their events. And then the next thing is they're losing weight. Their confidence is getting to another level. They're wearing clothes they never wore before. And you meet so many people that's my fitness career has made me go from such an oblivious, naive girl, people pleaser, to a very confident human being, because now I don't depend on the people, and it's given me such a big circle of like friendship, and it's opened my eyes to the world. However, I would never trade this for anything. In fact, I believe if the day I become super rich, if I had money, I would do this for free. Because also my dad had diabetes, high blood pressure, Parkinson, and prostate cancer. So watching my dad go through all these health issues my goal is to make sure that nobody, like a child, does not have to watch their parents go through this. If I can help you live a healthy life, because we parents don't know what their children go through when your blood pressure is high, or you have a heart attack, or They may not speak, but the agony, the fear, and I got into the whole fitness not because of anything, but because it's like when he was sick, and you'd be like, "Oh, you're gonna get that call, you're gonna get that call," and at that point, I was like trying to be a software engineer in fitness, and I opted for fitness.
Wow. Software engineer and fitness.
Yeah.
And you opted for fitness because you feel more fulfilling.
Yes.
Wow.
You're changing people's lives.
You're changing people's lives.
Yeah.
So in that same note, if I had to ask you what is definition of success to you right now, what would that be?
Definition of success. Success to me is just peace of mind, good health. No money can buy you health. If you do not have good health, no matter how much money you have, you're not going to be happy. So health, number one. You can sleep at night, and you're happy. Now, I'm not saying that money is not good. Money is good. Wealth is important. But if you can go home and sleep with whatever you have, that is success. If you have good health, you don't have to take medicine, that is success.
So now in your career, how many people would you say that you helped? Do you have an idea?
I have 88 reviews on Thumbtack, so
Wow,
I
so
believe
that
I've
means-
worked with like 88 people.
Wow.
And those are the
Or
ones that have
more.
given me reviews.
Yeah,
so,
or more, right?
So it's more than that. So I can only now gauge with the people that I can count of reviews. So it's more than that. And it's the most, when people come and tell you like, hey, or like one of my clients who said, I've never worked with a trainer for more than 3 months, but now I've been with you for 2 years.
Those are the stories, right?
That gives me satisfaction.
Yes,
Yeah.
that means you're doing something
Or somebody who tells
amazing.
me I used to have back pain, but now I don't have back pain. So I get overwhelmed with the gratitude, and when my clients just come in and be like, hey, my husband noticed me. My husband say I'm looking great. I got a card saying this. Because it's like 99% of my clients are women. And, when you come home and your husband is like, oh, my God, hey, babe, you're looking great. And then it's like, hey, you know what? It's all Terry. And you're like, okay, now Terry is part of the family. So
Yes. So it's fulfilling for
it's
you.
very fulfilling, satisfying.
So if you had to do anything, what would you change? If you had to change one thing in your life today, where you are?
Just have my mother back. That's obvious. If there's anything I would change, is like, God, give me my mother back. That's all.
Anybody special in your life you want to give a shout out to?
Myself.
Yourself?
Yeah.
Family members? Boyfriend?
Beautiful
I
I lost
like
my
you.
dad. I lost my dad 2 years ago.
Okay, sorry
2
for
years
your
ago.
loss.
So I love my family. I love my family today. They're amazing. Don't want to give shout out to all my clients. I love all of you. I know you have to put up with me every day and listening to me. I love all of them. Anyone special? No, not really.
What legacy you would want a younger person watching this podcast to learn from?
God does not make mistakes. God does not make mistakes. No matter your path, remember, the journey or the path He chooses for you is because He has a destination for you. You may not like that path, but God has a plan. And the destination He only knows.
Terry, you are powerful. You may not know that because not only you shared some vulnerable moments of your life with us. However, before we end the show, we started with the boyfriend in high school. We didn't finish it. You were going to tell us a story. I want to leave the show with the story with your
Of the
boyfriend.
boyfriend.
So we didn't forget it. Can you share that story?
Oh, it was
before
just
we
like
tell
it was
our
just like
audience
a little
going?
neighbor that was next door that used to stress me in high school, and I was so naive because we used to be here and he used to be here. Oh, he was quite handsome. He was and he was a veterinarian doctor. But I was very reserved. I knew as much as I liked him and as much as he liked me, I didn't think I trusted him enough to even go anywhere. I liked him, but I wasn't going to move anywhere because in my mind is if I go anywhere with this man, I'm gonna get pregnant. And I was not gonna get pregnant. And so my mother used to be like, that boy you're seeing, blah 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 blah. And then I'm like, it's nothing happening. There's attraction. You're young. He was a little bit older than me. There's attraction. But I'm like, and he would sit down, and he would want, of course, being a man, he would want to, can I say what? Can I say it? He'd want to have sex, but I'm like, no, I'm not having sex. So, but then the weird thing is, I think my mom was even very surprised. I know we were just talking. He was a good guy, but no.
Okay.
I wasn't. Yeah.
Well, I didn't want my audience to miss the story because
My
we
high
did
school
take
boyfriend.
a break around that time, and we did not go back to the high school boyfriend. So, Terry, I don't want to end the podcast. If you have anything else you want to share in your life that you feel that we didn't touch, is there anything else you would want to share to the world, or you would want the world to know and we did not touch on?
No,
You feel comfortable?
I'm good. I think if it didn't, whatever that probably wasn't said, maybe was not remembered, or God didn't want it to be said. But I'm grateful for my life. One thing I'm gonna tell you is it's not a perfect life. God, I cry every day probably. Sometimes it's tears of gratitude, sometimes it's tears of grace. And also being an entrepreneur. Being an entrepreneur is hard. You have good days, you have good months, and you have good days, you have good months, and some days
You're responsible for your own
you're
self.
responsible for your own self. But also I can say is the path of entrepreneurship has brought me into so many things. Like now I'm doing research with Emory University about gynecological cancer. So we've already gotten to what I think 6 participants, and after almost a year of struggling to get participants, so my calendar is filling up. Like next week I'll be Marietta Emory. So and this is just through fitness. The people,
It's helping you.
People bringing on my table.
Wow. So if people want to use you for personal trainer, how would you want them to find you on IG or Facebook?
All right, so my website is kkfitnessgeorgia.com. Anybody who does not know their Instagram of it, I believe my Instagram is _, I think _wellness. Wellness.fitness.
Wellness.
Yes, wellness.fitness. That's my Instagram. Facebook page is KK Fit Bodies. And then, of course, my phone number is 404-997-9417. Call, text, reach out. My website, you can fill a contact form, and I will be more than happy to work with you or reach out back to you.
As you guys noticed, we didn't touch on boyfriend, kids, or anything like that. It's because the coach right here is still living her best life. She wants to continue keeping that body. She's not like me. So therefore, we're leaving her alone. Guys, thank you for watching. Stay with us. One-on-One airs every Saturday from 5 to 6. Thank you for being with us. Bye for now.
Welcome to the One-on-One Show.